And just like that, the Auburn Tigers are now underdogs in their season opening showdown against Baylor.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Joining me as he does every single Charlie Tuesday, it is Kyle Rush, also known as the Charlie 5 Auburn message board legend, the man over at the Barn Auburn and thebarnauburn.com. We'll talk about several names who could show out throughout fall camp. But a big thing that's gone around on social media, because I think it's a big deal. We've seen in just a few days, according to our friends at FanDuel, a 3-point shift. Auburn for the last few months, 2.5-point favorites over Baylor. Now, Baylor a 1.5-point favorite, according to our friends at FanDuel. And I know a lot of folks that might kind of like just breeze by it and say, oh, it's just 3 points. When you talk about line movement, Kyle, that's a lot. That is a lot. Almost to the point where you've got to ask, did something happen that we may not know about yet?
Yeah, 1 point here or there, a half point, not a huge deal. Auburn's fluctuated between a 2.5 to 1.5 point favorite ever since this line opened. But on, I think it was the 20th, Auburn was a 1.5 point favorite. And then on the 25th, it switched to Baylor being a 1.5 point favorite. That's a 3-point line movement in 5 days. That's a very substantial move. And it takes a lot of money to move a line. So in theory, a lot of money over this past week has come in on Baylor, enough to make the line move to where they're now favored. Typically that doesn't happen unless there's some sort of info, some sort of, I don't know, innuendo, something out there that would make that happen, because it hasn't happened up until now. And it's a weird timing too. Like, I get it if it's like week of the game, you know what I mean? Like a lot of times big movement happens like either Thursday or Friday before the game. People try to get a number they like, and then they just pound it and it moves the line. Happening the 20th through the 25th, that's just a really weird time for it.
It also happens at a time where Jackson Arnold, his Heisman odds shot up. He was like plus 4,500. Now he's plus 2,500. And just for context, that's the same odds as Dante Moore at Oregon, DJ Lagway at Florida, Gunnar Stockton at Georgia. And that's just odd to me that those two things happened at pretty much the same time. I think they're like 24 hours away is when I noticed it, but it's just kind of interesting. And so then it's like, well, what's going on right now? What's something that could happen for somebody who maybe they're a big Baylor booster and they want to bet on their Baylor Bears, or just some, big money sports bettor? What have they seen where they wanted to take Baylor? If you think Baylor's going to win, you're a big bettor. Like you take the 2.5 points, which you got to assume is what somebody did to make this line move. If it was truly money that was happening. I mean, you got to think, okay, well, like the Malcolm Simmons news.
That was July 16th. So that was 4 days.
Delayed. Yeah.
Yeah. That was 4 days before the line really started.
That a week or so ago, maybe a little bit maybe even closer to the incident. I
was looking at some of the media day stuff. I didn't know, like, I know Baylor had quite a few players that it came out they were on first team all Big 12 team, the first team all Big 12 team. So had several players make those lists. Could that be enough to make it move? It seems
Possibly.
like that someone knows or thinks something.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's someone else maybe they think could be injured, could be hampered, could be hurt for Auburn. I don't really know. Malcolm Simmons is what, your third wide receiver?
I just hard for me. The timing of it doesn't make sense.
It's hard for me to. It's just hard for me to imagine that he'd be worth that many points. Now, if Cam Coleman were to be out, or heck, I would even say Eric Singleton, like that might be worth the line moving like that. But I don't know. It is very, very strange. It's definitely significant. I try. Derell and I talked about it on Sunday night, but the more you think about it and you look at the actual timelines, it's definitely significant. Doesn't have to mean anything, but that line doesn't move like that for no reason.
Yeah, there's a chance it's nothing, but there's also a chance it's something, and that's just what we're speculating on today. And we'll get more info as far as the health of this team and the availability of everybody on this roster Wednesday, tomorrow, when Hugh Freeze speaks to the media. Because like the Malcolm Simmons stuff happened like right after media days. Yeah. And so like if he would have gone last like he did last year, that's what all the questions would have been. It would have been about Malcolm Simmons, but that's not what happened. So he'll talk about that on Wednesday. We'll get an update, and maybe that'll add some clarification. I'm not sure. But as far as where this line,
do you think that's the very first question asked, or do you think how quickly do you think that's going to be asked about?
How is it not?
I think it's got to be. It'll be the very first question asked. I think.
I bet he offers up info without being asked on it.
I do too. I bet he'll do like an opening statement or something like that, and that'll probably be in there.
And Malcolm's posted pictures on like Instagram or his story or whatever of like his jersey and pads and all that, and
yeah,
like, I don't know.
Is he? Yeah, some think he's. I mean, some say he's maybe still working out and participating. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. As far as my thoughts on this game, I said yesterday, the matchup I can't shake is the trenches. I think Auburn's O-line has an advantage over Baylor's D-line, and I think Auburn's D-line has an advantage over Baylor's O-line. Like, I think Auburn is better on both sides of the trenches, and to me, that's what's giving me comfort in this game.
Unless there's something, like we said, unless there's something we don't know, from top to bottom, Auburn is just on paper a better roster, and hands down. Like, I don't even think it's really that close. So that's one of the reasons I feel confident, at least from you feel confident that you got the guns to go up against them. You know what I mean? It's you got the firepower on offense, and you should have the firepower on the back end of the defense. That's like you. That's what's making me feel confident about this game, no matter what the line movement is. But again, what shifted it? Yeah.
So Auburn now a 1.5 point dog on the road in Waco to start the season, according to our friends at FanDuel. Hey, there are so many players that could show out and have a major impact in fall camp. And we tell you a few of them next, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at 5 Hour Energy. Our friends at 5 Hour Energy are back, Kyle. And I swear this is this copy was made for you. You ready? It says, time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape flavor of your favorite golf drink minus the alcohol into a quick energizing shot. Is that not just made for you?
So they got transfusion shots now? Count me in.
Yeah. And they're grape flavored. They also have ginger and
that's transfusion.
Lime. So whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your favorite energy game.
Get jacked.
When you talk about Auburn people golfing, where do you rank, would you say?
I'm up there. I got to be up there.
Who are you up there with as far as Auburn people, notable Auburn people that golf a lot?
Probably Hugh Freeze. I would say it's Hugh one, me too.
I think so too. So go to 5hourenergy.com today. It's number 5hourenergy.com. And you can use our promo code LOCKEDONGOLF, all one word, LOCKEDONGOLF, to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. This code is not good on subscription orders. So whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, Wow. Get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion-flavored 5-hour energy shots today. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Kyle Rush, also known as the Charlie 5, hanging out with us. A name that I am super intrigued by going into fall camp is a name that we could not stop talking about throughout spring, and that is Sam Turner.
Sam
Because
Turner.
if you can be the voice in the spring, or the main the main name that's being circulated in the spring, can you also keep that momentum going throughout the fall? There's questions about Malcolm Simmons, obviously.
Yep.
Sam Turner, they're different roles, but the target and the market share, like, it could open up some opportunities. Sam Turner is a guy I'm fascinated to see how he fits into this offense, because we just kept hearing great things about Horatio Fields, obviously Cam, Eric. Like, how many outside guys can you truly have that are relevant in the offense? Can Sam Turner find his way in there? That's one that I'm really, really excited to see.
I love Sam Turner. I love that one. I mean, you kind of mentioned the guy in that wide receiver room that I'm most intrigued about, and that's, like, when you're talking about wide receivers, it felt like Horatio Fields had to be in the conversation as well, as far as, like, making highlight catches, big physical wide receiver. Either one of those kind of feels like they could be, end up being a really big factor this year. So I like that. I'll tell you, I'm excited about, and it's really more of like a 1-2 punch, because I feel like that free safety spot is wide open between New Boy and Eric Winters. I feel like somebody is going to pop, and I don't know which one it's going to be. Fagan's had a interception to at the end the spring game or spring practice or whatever you call it. I just think one of those guys is going to explode onto the scene this year, and I don't know who it's going to be. I really don't. Feels like Fagan's is more of a fit for that lurker center field role, but Eric is such a explosive athlete. It's going to be hard to imagine them keeping him off the field. That free safety spot is going to be very, very fun to watch.
Do you give Sylvester Smith any shot to win that?
I think he probably starts
Caleb Harris
out.
is the other safety.
I think he starts.
There.
I think Sylvester starts out, the guy, but it seems like, from everything I've been told, these two guys are just unreal. Like, they're just so far beyond what we typically bring in at that position. Their talent is just, once they get comfortable, their talent is just going to overtake that depth chart. And I mean, I'm pulling for whoever wins the job, but I just think these two guys are going to be tough to beat out.
I mean, what a great situation, though. Yeah. I mean, like, the worst case scenario is you get a guy who's coming back for another year in Sylvester Smith, and you think he takes a step forward. Like, that's the worst case scenario with that safety spot. It's like, I'll take that. Yeah, Eric Winters and Fake. Like, I think more of Winters is like, I want him in, like, nickel.
I want him closer to the line of scrimmage, just because of his size. Same. I really do.
But, like, Champ Anthony's so good, it sounds like that's where he's going to be. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, what a great problem to have. But, like, there are so many dudes where I'm like, not all these guys can play, and not all these guys can play what I think might be their best position either.
When you really start walking out the defensive backfield, like the depth chart, when you really start, like, talking about it and walking it out, like, if you wanted to argue right now that the defensive back room is as talented as the wide receiver room, I think you could make an argument for it. Sure. I mean, when you, as far as a room as a whole, they are so talented and really, really deep. I would pay money if I could just watch one-on-ones, just plop out a tailgate chair and say, I can only come to practice and watch the one-on-one drills with the wide receivers and the defensive backs. That would be must-see TV, in my opinion. I'd pay a subscription to watch that every day. I mean, those guys, that's the definition of iron sharpening iron. And it will be I can't wait to watch them on the practice field. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think they're getting the love outside of Auburn. I mean, I talked to, I did a bunch of radio hits the week of media days, and every time I was asked about Auburn's defense, Like they asked about Keldrick first because he was representing Auburn for the second year in a row at media days. But like guys, people aren't talking about these corners enough. Like Jay Crawford and Kayan Lee, like for some reason, there's been no chatter about Auburn's defensive backfield outside of Auburn. I'm not even talking about in the SEC. I'm just talking about like anywhere. And I think it's a little weird because they're all like highly recruited guys, but for whatever reason, there's been no chatter outside of Auburn with these DBs.
I just wonder if it's maybe because of their youth, like they don't have a ton of experience. But I mean, geez, you just mentioned Kayan Lee and Jay Crawford, but then right behind them at 3 and 4, you got Ryan Strader and Rashawn Pleasant, who apparently is like the steal of the spring portal based off of all the evaluations. Is this Pleasant kid is just going to be unreal, and he could be a return specialist. He's on preseason watch lists and all this kind of stuff. He's very well, highly regarded with people that do this stuff for a living. So, I mean, that's your four corners right there. I mean, holy cow, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's hard to find the drop off.
I just don't see a world where we're in December and we're looking back at this regular season and Blake Woodby's not somehow a part of this discussion.
Yeah. He sent me some of his spring film clips. And I mean, he's going up against ones. So where does he play? I think he could be a really good nickel guy to start off with, but I think he was even rotating some with the ones at outside. I think they were mixing and matching a good bit, but he's a player, man. ESPN loved him more than the other sites, but they had him like a 5-star on ESPN. Like there are people that think very, very highly of Blake Woodby, and you don't get those type DBs very often. And if he can live up to that hype, it's the defensive backfield. We're walking through the defensive backfield right now, and it's crazy. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's the best one that I can remember.
I posted my conversation for media days with Keldrick Falk yesterday, Kyle, and I asked who else are the leaders, and he's like, well, I got all the energy, from Eugene Asante or whatever, and he listed a few upperclassmen, but like I think the first name he mentioned was Blake Woodby.
Really?
And I mean, I talked about this yesterday on the bonus show, but it's like they're not in the same room. Keldrick Falk and Blake Woodby are not like Blake Woodby is not in the meeting room with the edge guys. He's just not.
Had to have Blake,
he's not. Yeah. And like for him to catch Keldrick's attention, like that's pretty crazy.
It's very crazy. It's very crazy because, like you said, they're not working out together. They're not doing things together. So he would have had, and another thing, he's behind him, so he can't even see him during the play. You know what I mean? Like during the actual play.
And he was talking, the question I asked him was more about like energy and leadership and discipline and all that. But still, that's I just wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So, that was kind of shocking to me.
So take that for what it's worth. Okay, so coming up, more names. We'll shift to more of the offensive side. I know we mentioned Sam Turner a second ago, but there's another battle that could define the success and failure of the offense. Next, right here on Locked On Auburn. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. The running back competition is super intriguing to me because I've talked to several folks close to Auburn, close to the locker room, close to the situation, and the opinion on the running back room, it's pretty different based on who you talk to.
It really is. Every person will say something
there's
different.
Not another position group like this. And like right now, I'm in the Damari is RB1 camp, and then Cobb, then Derell. But I've talked to people that think they fully expect Derell to be RB1 for most of the season. And there's folks, Kyle, that I've talked to who are part of this that think Jeremiah Cobb will be RB1. And I can't remember a time that it's really been like that at this point in the offseason at Auburn.
Even NCAA 2026 has them all rated exactly the same.
Oh, do they?
I think they're all 83s. I think we went through this. They're like either all 82s or all 83s.
Interesting.
It really is. No matter who you talk to, you can talk to 5 different people and you'll hear 5 different things. I've even heard Alvin Henderson is really showing out. Like Alvin Henderson is showing that he's almost ready to play at this level. So you got a bunch of options.
Kyle, I talked to Connor Liu, and he brought up Omar Mabson by name.
That's crazy. It could be, we look at this room as I think if you ranked rooms in general from top to bottom, I think most people would probably put running backs towards the bottom, like with a question mark. And it's because every year, there's been a little, like an heir apparent, like you knew who the next guy was going to be. And you just literally don't know that this year at all. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing.
No. And like Damari, from a touches standpoint, is the heir apparent. But clearly they wanted Derell Robinson. They made him a priority in the portal, clearly.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Cobb is just stuck around. Like, surely they've had to make the pitch to Cobb multiple times since he's been here. I mean, he's a guy, every time the portal opens, I'm like, he's one of those names where I'm like, I wouldn't be shocked if he entered. And he's stuck around. And like, there hasn't even really been a whole lot of chatter around it. And maybe he just loves Auburn. That's certainly part of it. You've seen that with Brandon Frazier, right? But I just wonder, at some point, like, you can't be that highly touted and not be given a role, especially if it's not this year. Then it's like, what am I even doing here?
Yeah, I'm wasting my time. Yeah.
But the running back room.
Jeremiah Cobb looks different, by the way. He looks different going into this offseason. I mean, coming into the preseason, I mean, he's done some work, man. He looks different. And I feel like you're asking, this is one of those things. Yeah. I think Jeremiah Cobb's going to, I agree with you that by default, and he's good too. He deserves it. Alston's going to be probably your default number 1. But man, I'm telling you, Cobb looks different, man. Cobb looks different. And I think he's going to be the dude.
Yeah, I think Damari is your highest floor of the 3 main ones. Sure. And some of that might be just because and like there's got to be some assumption that he fixes the fumbling issues. Derell is interesting because like I think our perception of what Derell Robinson is and what he actually is, I think, is a little off. Like I think
I do too.
He's discussed as if he's like this bruiser.
Bowling ball, yeah.
And he I don't think that's him. Like I think he's a multi-purpose back. But everybody's talking about like he could be the goal line guy. I'm like, he could be, sure, but that's not like he's not some big bruising running back.
No,
he's more than that. I think we're putting him in a box by doing that.
Yeah, pigeonholing him for sure. I mean, he's only 207 pounds. I mean, that's not like, if he's like 235 or something like that, okay, maybe I can get on board. But like he's not that much.
Like Auburn folks talk about Derell Robinson like he's 235.
Yeah, and he's not. He's really just a taller version of these other 2 guys. Their games aren't really super different. I mean, they just
is that what Auburn has him at 207?
That's what it says on the roster, 207. Yeah.
And I've talked to other members of the media, and they're like, he's 220, and I'm like, where does it say that? Like, I haven't seen him listed at 220 anywhere.
Now, if that's the case, maybe we can have that conversation. But I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
So if he is,
on his UConn stuff, like that's not how he was used at UConn.
No, he was like their home run hitter at UConn.
Yeah,
he had like what he averaged, like 7 or 8 yards a carry, something like that.
It was a lot.
Long touchdown runs.
It was a lot. So I don't know. We'll see.
I'm sticking with Cobb, and I like 23 as a running back number.
23 is a great running back number.
I'm pulling a little Brad Law out right there.
Pre-fall camp predictions from overall touches, not just rushing attempts, but overall touches. You're going Cobb 1?
Yeah.
Give me your order. Give me 1 through 4.
I think it'll be Cobb, Alston, Robinson, as far as touches go.
Then Henderson 4?
Yeah. If he gets any, yeah.
I think I'm going to go. I think I'm still going with Damari, Derell, Cobb, Henderson.
Okay. Just reverse it. I love it. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. I've been calling for Cobb for years. I don't know. No clue.
Yeah.
No clue. What do you think? Let us know down below. genuinely curious. Kyle, how can people check out everything you've got going on?
Absolutely. You can follow me on this Twitter, _Charlie_5. You can go to the barnauburn.com message board. Yeah, get all up to date on all our team notes, recruiting notes, everything, and then the Barn Auburn YouTube page as well.
Please like the video. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn.